Well, it is no longer news that the policy is biting hard and harder, and if you like, which other word will I use? But I really wouldn't say hardest, And it's nothing to laugh about. Yes, it's really painful. But the question is, how long will Nigerians continue to bear this, and for how much? And will this be a threat to the 2023 general elections, which is just 7 days away from now? To do justice to this topic is no other person but Ambassador Musa Soken, an APC chieftain, who will be telling us more about the effect of this policy ahead of the 2023 general elections, which is holding on Saturday. Thank you very much for joining us in the program.
You're welcome.
For you, is this a threat or is it a welcome development?
Well, as it is now, nobody will say it's a welcome development, considering the fact that election is at hand. And even I don't think INEC will be very much comfortable with this policy at this time, because definitely they are going to deploy some of their staffs to the rural community, where maybe transportation will not be very easy for those staffs to be able to convey the materials that is meant for election to such areas. And in such areas, sometimes you cannot tell a cadre man, I want to transfer money to you. So this is a very great challenge at this point in time.
But the CBN is saying they are ready. They are ready for INEC. They will do everything possible to provide money for logistics ahead of the election. So some persons will be asking, why are we crying more than the bereaved,
Actually, what we are, as earlier said, there are remote places where they don't deal with transfer and the cash is not sufficiently flowing. You understand? So this will actually affect the system. Because if you go to a remote area where even the person that is going to convey the materials, like now I'm from Taraba State, we have places like Gembu. There are some terrains that you can only go there with a motorcycle, and you need some people to convey you there, these Okada riders. Some of them don't even have bank account. You see, so to some extent, is actually going to affect the whole system.
Okay, so let's delve into the internal wrangling in your party. Just recently, Governor of Kaduna State, Governor Nasir El-Rufai, and Governor of Kano State, Governor Ganduje, and then some other governors know about the Governor of Kogi State, crying foul about this policy and saying it is targeted at the presidential candidate of the APC. What's your own take on this?
Yes, actually, Nigeria is a very big country, and even some prophets of God, they are not been able to win all their people at a time. They had oppositions. So, but I'm assuring you that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is more than issue of political party. It's a movement. This is somebody who has been nurturing people for age long. And this is a time for payback. So actually, I don't see that it's going to affect him at all.
Party payback or Nigerians paying back?
Or
politicians paying back?
That's what I'm saying, that it's not all about party. Tinubu's issue is a movement. It's not about APC alone. I'm assuring you that there are other people from other political parties that are going to vote massively for Aswaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because he has done a lot.
Okay, but why are your own governors from the party complaining about this, openly complaining?
Yes, you have to some extent, as I earlier said, it's not everybody that will be on the page of, supporting the presidential candidate. I told you that even the prophets of God, who are after to see that their people make heaven, but they had opposition to some extent. Some of them being crucified and, a lot of suffering in order to salvage their people. So it's a normal thing. Some people must have to, say, no, we don't want this system to work. But then, I'm assuring you, as I earlier said, Aswaju Bola Tinubu is not about party issues. It's a movement.
Okay, are you holding forth, or you are talking for the ordinary people, or you're talking for your party? That is one. Secondly, a lot of people say this particular policy is a step in the right direction when it comes to money laundering and to address, to go a long way to address the issue of kidnapping and so many, you know, evil stuff's happening in the country, social vices happening in the country. Are you talking passionately for the ordinary Nigerians, or you're talking or holding forth for your party?
That's what I said. It's not. I say it's not about political party. I earlier said that Aswaju Bola Tinubu issue is a movement. But come to the other aspect of it. You know, the policy is a very welcome policy. You know, in order to curtail some of these crimes and other things, such measures have to be taken. I believe no any responsible government would like to take a step that will be a kind of a cox in the business activities, financial activities, and what have you of their citizens. But then, at this very point in time, it comes at the wrong time, because every common man on the street is suffering it. But then it's a very welcome idea, and it's actually meant to curtail some of this, you know.
Vote buying or rigging, you know?
Yeah, actually, is, you know, it can curtail some of this issue to some extent. But what of an ordinary man on the street? Somebody who want to purchase maybe gari and tomatoes and all food stuff, and there's no money in his pocket. You know? So it's going to affect the common man to so high extent. And you can see the reaction of people. But
is it so enough to go violent because of the...
It's not actually enough. But you know, the ordinary man, they say a hungry man is an angry man. At a point in time where you find it very difficult to even obtain what you eat at home, you know, people do resort to, which is not actually the best way. But then, you know, as an ordinary Nigerian, sometimes that is actually the reaction.
Okay, when you're saying people from other parties will vote for your presidential candidate, could you be referring to the G5, or who are the particular people you are saying from other parties are likely to vote for your candidate?
All inclusive. Yesterday I had an interaction with some people from other, I will not mention the political party, but 68 candidates of House of Reps, collectively with their other, you know, state assembly aspirants, want to join Aswaju Movement and vote massively for APC.
Okay, so are you saying you have moles in other parties?
Yes, of course.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have.
Moles.
That is what I said. I tell you that Aswaju is a movement. It's more than an issue of political party.
Okay.
Okay, we're talking about the issue of the CBN policy. Yeah. Do you foresee what we're experiencing now, the difficulties, confusion, take your money to the bank, 500, 1,000 denomination, and afterwards we're getting stories or report or release from the CBN debunking that story. Do you foresee things normalizing after the election period?
Yeah, actually, these things, you know, people are very nostalgic, most especially when it comes to a period of election. Everybody wants to be at home. And when it's over, the demands of people to travel all around, to go to their polling units, interact with their fellow, you know, relatives and friends and what have you, will be, you know, short. So in that regard, you know, the situation is likely to calm down. But you know, the issue now at stake is people want to travel home, because that's actually where they are going to cast their vote. So the demands of that, the demands of food items and other necessities, is what is, you know, making things been very hard for people now. But it's my belief that after the election, by the grace of God, things will stabilize.
So if your belief is after the election, things will stabilize. As a chieftain, as an elderly person, what will be your call on Nigerians, the electorates who will be voting on Saturday, despite the bank policy, the Naira scarcity? What will you advise them, particularly the youth, to do?
Well, I will actually say they should shave their sword. They should be calm. This is a temporary situation, and it's not meant to stay. Hard times are not permanent times. You know, they should endure this particular period in time, and they should calm down. They should not resort to violence, destroying properties, destroying people, and doing things that is contrary to the law of the land. That is not good for the country. They should be looking at profiling solutions to the present scenario. And actually, as I earlier said, the policy put by government is to curtail other things to make the country, you know, the integrity of the country in the outside world and even within. But then, it's a hard time, and they have to calm down. It will be over.
Okay, so with the introduction of the reintroduction of the 200 naira notes into circulation, do you see any succor for people?
To some extent, it will actually go a long way to solve some of, because you know 200 naira is more common in the hands of a common man. So to some extent, it is going to liberate some of the hardship people are going through. But if they say that it should completely go, you know, off the street, or let me say it should not be completely you know, seen as a legal tender, it's going to affect people more grossly. But this one, it will limit some of the hardship people are going through.
So how well do you think this policy will curb vote buying? Because, you know, over time, people have tried to, you know, create measures in which they will use to solve vote buying, and this policy is tilted towards that. But do you see this policy curbing vote buying?
Already, people who want to buy the votes, they have the financial strength. They can use other means to do that. But it will go a long way also to curtail the vote buying, because the money is not much in circulation. So how do you get it to somebody who is going to cast vote for you? So actually it's going to help to some degree.
Okay, before the program, my colleague showed me a video of Kaduna residents. You know, the governor issued a directive still saying that Kaduna residents can spend the old Naira notes as against what President Muhammadu Buhari said. What do you see about this conflict of laws given?
Look, you know, you see we are in a democracy. And if you see from the beginning of this money policy, money redesign, the stamp was on a particular date, which was on 10th of February. But when people, you know, people yearn and aspire that the period should be extended, and government listened to them, and this was actually extended. So this is a democratic, you know, dispensation, and we believe that government will still consider what people are undergoing, and they will still do something about it. It's our prayer and hope that government should do something about it in order to, you know, soften the hardship of people.
Yeah. Let me still take you on that.
Yes,
the party appears to be not to be speaking with one voice. But before this policy, you were all together. I mean, there were resolutions, agreements passed and reached, both parties, binding. But as soon as this policy came up, you appear to be apart. I mean, you are no longer seeing yourself as one, with allegations coming from different quarters, state governors alleging that the president is trying to truncate democracy, while the state governor of Kaduna State governor is also saying his own part, and the rest of it all. So with your party, it's assumed you're just in a state of confusion. How do you intend to go to the poll with what is happening or the circumstances surrounding issues in your party?
No, some of these issues in political, dispensation is a norm. Sometimes you disagree. But I'm assuring you that at the end of the day, we'll all come together and I will do the needful.
Probably after meeting, state governors meeting tomorrow morning. So you'll have a resolution.
Yes, but I'm so sorry. You did not answer that question about a governor saying something different, giving a different order from the president. Because I thought the president's decision or order overrides every other decision. So for a governor to be given a directive that is totally different and totally separate from what the president is saying, what is your own take on that?
And that is the joy of democracy.
That the governor can say something different, can give a different rule from what the president has ordered.
It's his own personal opinion, and that is the way he look at things. And he think that
overriding the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
It's not, what in the democracy, it is not military regime where
you don't see it as a treasonable offense?
Yeah, I don't understand.
You don't see it as something that is treasonable?
No, it's not that way.
Okay.
It's not the way you look at it.
Okay.
What he's trying to, tell the government or the people is that, no, my people need this. It's a kind of, to me, it's a kind of appeal. It's a kind of trying to, bring out the yearnings of his own people. So I didn't look at it. It's not giving an order, per se.
So you're trying to defend your party?
You're
trying to defend issues in the party?
No, not at all. But this actually, you see, not only El-Rufai, there are so many governors that say, look, this is the way we want these things to be.
So the party should dictate for Nigerians or for Mr. President how things should be?
You are not talking about party, you say governor.
Okay.
When you say party, is different from governance.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So there is opinion. Maybe that is the opinion of the people. They are looking at it that, no, this is the way we want these things to go. It's a kind of passionate appeal at this particular time. And
passionate advice.
Yes. So you see, so I don't look at it as treasonable or as the way you are trying to use that word, which is very, very hard. El-Rufai is a law-abiding citizen. Is somebody who is highly respected because of his principle, his philosophy, and is somebody who is out for truth. He's one of the elders in Nigeria I respect so much. He doesn't, look at things or do things from behind the scene. He come out clearly whenever there's something that he thinks is, is going to bring hardship to the people. He's somebody that stands by his word. So what he's doing, or if you have said something, I don't have that evidence, but I believe that it's for the good of all. Yeah.
All right. So what will be your final call on Nigerians as we count down to Saturday?
Well, it cannot be different. Me as a party, chieftain of APC, if you ask me that question,
I can see you're smiling. Exactly. Don't endorse or don't campaign.
No, but I'm saying for Nigerians, what would be your call as we count down to the polls? Because if you campaign, we're going to charge you.
Yes.
Not the companies for charging us.
So actually, what I would like to tell Nigerians, I've been seeing some people behaving, unsabbatical. Their behavior is, is uncalled for, it's unethical. And these are people that have served in the highest, legislative arms of this country.
Yeah.
There are some behaviors that we have to abstain from it. Let's behave ourselves. Let's keep calm in every situation. Whatsoever this is a challenge is going to be over. So I'm calling all of us to be steadfast, and we should mind the way we do things. There are some things that, to be candid, in areas where there are ethics, such people should be banned. There are some statements that is uncalled for. So people should watch what they say. All these things that is happening, Mr. President is somebody that has the country at heart. All he's doing is for the betterment of the country. So people should, abstain from saying things that is contrary to the true meaning of what Mr. President is trying to do. And also some other party members that are bent on, a kind of, imagine, I don't want to mention name, but somebody who have served in the National Assembly coming out to, to be releasing some uncalled for, statement against somebody. It's very bad. It's very, very bad. So people should be cautious of what they will say. We should be steadfast. It is going to be over.
Thank you very much. Well, Ambassador Musa just said it all. Election will come and go. Nigeria remains one